I still really don't feel like we need more DP, so I'm gonna take HP here. You stupid barrel spiders. Why won't you just leave me alone? Dude, look at how much damage these cards do. With all this AP we have. It's insane. Ow. Hey, no. Get card broken. You go first. Dumb idiot, I had a 0. Chaos, how would you rank Kairi, Aqua, Shion, and Naminé? Aqua is, like, #1 with an air gap. Like, Aqua is incredibly first place. Like, of the 4 characters you just gave me, #1 is Aqua, and then, like, after Aqua is Phil from the Hercules world. You know, Mr. Get Up on the Hydra's back himself. Then we can start ranking the other 3 girls after that. Because Aqua is, like, by far best girl. So, you know, Aqua, super air gap, then Naminé. I said Naminé's name twice, so double Naminé, then Naminé again. From top to bottom, Aqua, Naminé, Kairi, Shion. I like all 4 of them. I don't think any of them are bad characters, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned before that I like Shion, but I just don't love Shion. I feel like I care more about Shion's relationship to Axel and Roxas than I do Shion herself. What? I'm sorry, I just had a seizure and had to, like, focus for a second. Get a load of this! I'm still recovering. I feel like I died and came back to life within, like, an instant. Stop beeping. Oh, dang it, barrel spiders! Every time. Speaking of dying and then immediately coming back to life, I actually, on a whim last night, I was, last night after I got done calling with my dudes, with my bros, aka Sly, Michael, and RTK, I was like, you know what? I want to watch, like, a short anime real quick, because I want to start Black Clover, but I'm waiting for Michael. I want Michael to, me and Michael try and watch the same things at the same time. He's watching Kaguya-sama right now. He's on season 2. He doesn't consume media quite as fast as I do, or Slyro, or RTK. He's the slowest of us 4 when it comes to watching things. But I don't want to start Black Clover because I want Michael to get a head start on me, so I'm waiting for him to, do a couple of episodes first before I start watching. So I was thinking to myself, like, you know, I do want to rewatch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I'm also, like, I want to wait on that a little bit longer before I start that rewatch. I want to watch something new. So I decided last night, you know what? I'm just going to, like, binge watch. I had heard some good things about that new anime, I think, that just finished, which was, The Misfit of Demon King Academy. Hold up, I gotta think for a second. I'm about to die. Did not realize what was going on. Make sure that Mickey heals me here real quick. There we go. Alright, much better, much better. But, so basically, long story short, between last night at about 10 p.m. and to today's stream, I binged almost the entire series. So, I've now watched, I think it's a 13-episode series, and I was so upset at myself because I didn't realize it, but I was watching episode 12 right before stream, and then it's like, it ends on a cliffhanger. And I was like, oh, dude, the next episode is the final episode. I gotta see what happens. And then I looked at the clock, and it was like, I need to stream in 4 minutes. But anyways. So yeah, I watched Misfit of Demon King Academy. It was pretty good. It was, wild? It's not a show that I would ever suggest is, like, great or, like, a must-watch. But it was pretty funny. It was funny, and it was interesting, and the characters were alright. Definitely, it was, like, it was something that was incredibly, like, not random, per se, but they moved through stuff so incredibly quickly in that show. Like, there was very little build-up to hardly anything. It was just back-to-back, like, giant events happening. which, you know, isn't a bad thing. But, you know, I prefer having some build-up to my stuff. But it was pretty good. I still have to watch that last episode. It's only 13 episodes, so... It was, it's a pretty good mix of, like, comedy-style shonen. Sort of deal. Plus, at one point, the main character says, "Did you really think that killing me would be enough to make me die?" Which is just a fantastic line. But yeah, I still gotta watch that last episode. But, for a 13-episode anime, it was worth my time. Would probably recommend if you're looking for something short, not so serious to watch. So I'm not trying to down on the anime by saying it's not that serious, but just like, you know. In the 12 episodes I've watched, it's never done anything to really make me think like, oh, this is one of the greats. Like, this is an anime that I'm gonna, like, be dying to see next season or anything. Like, I have no, like... If a season 2 does happen, I don't know if it's had one confirmed or not, but if a season 2 of it happens, I'll probably watch it at some point. But it's not like Dr. Stone, where after I finished Dr. Stone, I was like, yo, win season 2. I need season 2 of Dr. Stone. But it was still pretty good, you know? Worth checking out. If you have heard about it and think like, oh yeah, I heard about that, wasn't sure if I'd watch it or not, I'd give it a shot. It's only 13 episodes. Definitely don't judge it off of just the first episode, though, because after I finished the first episode, I was like, what on earth did I just watch? But then when I watched the second episode, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And that made me want to watch the rest of it. The second episode had a much better lead-off than episode 1 did. Go away. You can say that about a lot of anime. Yeah, but you gotta take into account that there are some anime that, like, when you watch the first episode, if it's just something so insanely like, wow, I do not like anything about this, this isn't my kind of anime or anything like that, then some people will be like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this. I almost always give an anime at least, like, 4 or 5 episodes, if not more. Like, even anime that I really dislike, I ended up watching at least, like, 10 episodes of. But there are definitely some people who are just like, if episode 1 is like... Because when I was watching episode 1 of Misfit of Demon King Academy, at the end of it, I was just like, I don't really know what I just watched, and I don't know if I like it or care to see any more at all. But then I was like, but I'm at least going to give it, like, 2 more episodes. No, I would disagree with that. I don't think you can judge SAO on 1 episode. Sword Art Online is, pretty good for, like, 6 episodes, I think. And then it starts to go downhill. And kind of never recovered. In my personal opinion. I know there's still some people that really love SAO. It has a cult following, but man, like, I'm still incredibly disappointed by SAO. Wait, where am I? Oh, I came back. How did I circled back around somehow? I don't know what I've done. I've been so caught up in chat. Some anime take an entire season to really pick up, others take just 1. It's crazy. Yeah, kinda. I don't know. It's like... I feel like if an anime hasn't done good enough to get your attention within, like, 10 episodes, then it's kind of failed at that point. And some people can be like, oh, well, if you just get to season 3. But I'm like, dude, if you haven't gotten me in, like... I'm not saying an anime has to grip me entirely and, like, it be one of my favorites within the first season. But if I watch 10 episodes of something and I'm still, like, bored, then that's kind of my peak. That's like, at that point, you've lost me. If you haven't if I'm not interested enough to where I want to keep watching after like 10 episodes. Because I believe that's when I quit Steins Gate, and everyone tells me like, well, you should have just watched like 5 more episodes. And I'm like, dude, I was so bored. Like, I literally, because when I was told that by Michael, I went back and tried to watch Steins Gate again, and I kid you not, I watched episode 9 of Steins Gate like 4 times. Because every time I would try and watch it, and I'd get so bored within like 10 minutes, I would quit watching. And then I'd try again like 2 weeks later, and I'd be like, well, I've got to start over because I don't remember what was happening. Not the whole anime, but I'd have to start over that episode because I didn't remember what was happening. And I'd just get bored and quit again. No, I disagree. I think the first season of My Hero Academia was very good. Like, season 2 and 3 of MHA are better, yeah, but that's, like, what you want. That's to be expected. But, season 1 of MHA is plenty good. It does very well at building up the world and getting people interested and having really good moments to be like, yeah, this is an anime that I look forward to seeing another season of. At least that was my experience with it. Although I don't really watch MHA anymore or read it. I was reading MHA and then I kind of I didn't like where they were going in the manga. Whoops. Got him. Overlord? Overlord was pretty good. Take this. Like it. Overlord was pretty good. It's another one of those. Kind of like how I feel about Misfit of Demon King Academy. I personally wouldn't call it like one of the greats or anything like that. I wouldn't be like, yo, Overlord, that's something you gotta watch. But it's only 39 episodes, isn't it? It's 3 seasons, 13 for each of them. It was pretty good. I think I remember season 1 being fine, and then like the start of season 2 was bad. Like the start of season 2 was so all over the place. I was like, yo, what is going on? And when Michael watched Overlord, he quit during season 2 because he really didn't like how it was going. But once you get to like mid to late season 2, it has a really, really good arc with some of the characters. And then season 3 was pretty good from what I remember. Shrill, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be watching the Great British Bake Off? It's a Tuesday. Oh, don't even get me started on 7 Deadly Sins Season 3. I am so incredibly upset. Like, you have no idea. 7 Deadly Sins is one of my absolute favorite anime/manga. Probably, like, my 3rd or 4th favorite, period. I love 7 Deadly Sins. After I finished Season 2 of 7 Deadly Sins, I read the manga. And I finished the manga because the manga is over. And it has its issues, mostly with a weird subplot that they never did purposely. But everything else about it is, like, the overall story, and then specifically the characters and the fights are just phenomenal. Great. But then, like, the studio that did Season 3 absolutely butchered it. Because some of the best stuff happens in Season 3, but the animation looks like actual trash. Like, it's actual garbage, the animation. They ruined it horribly. And it's so incredibly upsetting, because if the animation just wasn't a dumpster fire, 7 Deadly Sins would be one of the greats. But the rest of 7 Deadly Sins is just awesome. 7 Deadly Sins has some of the best characters in anime. Specifically Escanor and Bond. Escanor is like... Let me do some math in my head real quick. Escanor is in like my top 5 favorite characters in anime, period. Like, the end. He is one of my absolute favorite characters in all of fiction. He is so incredibly well written. He has such a good arc in the manga. It's so good. I will never forgive that animation. What was it? Studio Dean, I think. I will never forgive Studio Dean for screwing that up. Oh my goodness, got a cough. I have a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. Well, the British Bake Off is done already. Suddenly it all makes sense. Who had the best pastry. I don't know what do they bake in the Great British Bake Off? The only cooking show I ever watch is Cutthroat Kitchen. Oh, man. But yeah, very, very disappointed in what they did with Season 3 of 7 Deadly Sins. Because it really, really... If you're watching this right now and you, like, watch 7 Deadly Sins or anything, and you're like, man, Season 3 sucks or whatever, and you have any interest in manga, highly recommend picking up the manga of 7 Deadly Sins. You can watch the first 2 seasons on Netflix where the animation was still good, and then pick up in the manga. That would be at, like, chapter 190? It's around chapter 200 is how much the first 2 seasons cover. Please hit the thank you. I don't understand what Riku's problem is with hitting the blue raspberries. But, pick up in the manga after Season 2 if you have any interest in manga, and it's really good. Really good. Pastry week is next week. Next week in Great British Bake Off, they're doing pastries. Man, I'm good. How did I call it? Take this. Nope. Bad. Nope. Mickey! Get him! No, not darkness! Goodbye! That worked. I plan on playing all of the mainline Tales of games when I can. They're all on the list. I do really want to, unless I don't get the chance to do it before Tales of Arise comes out, whenever that is, because I think that's supposed to be next year. I really want to go back and play, like, I haven't played any of the first 4 games. The earliest Tales of game I played is Symphonia, which is the 5th in the series. So I do really want to play, one of the first 4, probably the very first one. So I'm planning to, but I'm just, like, you know, I'm booked right now on games. Yo, Shroom, you still in chat? I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but Dr. Stone's 2nd season is in January. I'm pretty sure it's planned for January. I think it's official. I don't know the exact date, but it's January 2021, last I heard. So that's going to be happening. Very excited for that. All right. You know what while we're talking about anime, chat, is, I never watched someone mentioned the dub of Cross Wars. I actually watched Cross Wars subbed, which is the only Digimon anime I ever saw subbed instead of dubbed. So I don't know what the dub of Cross Wars did. But, speaking of anime, I was just thinking the other day, because I saw an awful take on Twitter. By the way, if you ever want to, like, not throw up, don't ever look at anime Twitter. I ignore it as much as I can, but every now and then when I'm looking around Twitter, I see some posts from, like, you know, the anime side of Twitter, and it's abysmal. It's truly awful. Just terrible. The sort of things that you hear and see on what people will post on social media. It's so many horrible, just abysmal takes. Truly bad. Whoops. Many wrong buttons. Help. Mickey, bail me out. Thank you, Mickey. You can always count on the mouse. But, I was thinking the other day something that I wish, that'll probably never happen because Boruto is a thing. But something I hope happens one day in my lifetime, like maybe 10 years from now or something, is I want Naruto to get the DBZ Kai treatment. Because, I saw someone mention something of, like, it was a stupid tweet where someone was like, if Naruto was released in today's age, then it wouldn't be near as popular as people make it out to be. And then, like, immediately a bunch of people were saying, like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it was one of the dumbest things I had ever heard. Because, like, if Naruto had been released now when, like, they had better, like, seasonal anime stuff, and, just imagine if Naruto wasn't riddled with filler and whatnot. The anime would be so much better. But, It would be so cool if one day they, like, kind of did the DBZ Kai style thing with Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and made it, like, cut out all the filler and just, like, updated a lot of animation and stuff from it. Oh, it'd be so good. Yeah, remaster it and remove fillers, basically. Even, and, like, maybe even reanimate some stuff. Like, I know it's kind of iconic and a bit of a joke now, but, if they could, like, just completely reanimate the Pain versus Naruto fight to where it didn't look like a mess. Because looking back on that fight now is pretty funny, and it's really not that terrible, but it definitely has its issues. But if they could, like, redo some of the animation like that, oh boy. That'd be so good. I would just, obviously, of course I would, because Naruto is my favorite anime. But I would love it if Naruto could get some kind of setup like that. But I mean, they're doing Boruto, so they're not going to do anything like that. If they ever do, it won't be anytime soon, because instead they're putting all their focus on Boruto.